Hope you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys do your part in making sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Double check and make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel if you are subscribed to the channel. And like I do with all my other videos, make sure you guys give the video a thumbs up, hitting the like button or click the like button. That way my content can stay consistently recommended to you and it keeps me on your YouTube feed. The other thing I need you to do also is that if you're on the phone, if you double tap the screen, it gives the video a thumbs up. So make sure that you do that. So ladies and gentlemen, I have to bring you guys this news because we all know that the mainstream media is not going to pretty much let you guys know about this information. It's not going to be nothing that's going to be pushed out there real big because, you know, Orange Man can do no good. Trump can do no good. No matter what he does, it's just not going to be good enough no matter what. They just hate the man, period. So anyway, with that being said, shout out to a lot of my medical professionals. I don't want to say who they are, what their roles are. I told them I wouldn't do that. But shout out to my medical professional brothers and sisters who are black, that's not only currently in medicine, but are also on their residencies and things like that as well. So shout out to them. You know who you are. I'm going to just call you BB, one of you that sent me this. And Trump just signed an executive order, among other executive orders that he's already signed this year. But Trump signed an executive order called the White House Initiative to promote excellence and innovation at historically black colleges and universities, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read this because I want people to hear this, my own fellow American brothers and sisters, not just black people, but white people as well. But since we are talking about historically black colleges and universities, Negroes, y'all definitely need to listen to this. You just need to, okay? So with that being said, let me go ahead and get right into it. Again, don't forget, give the video a thumbs up. Double tap the screen if you're on your phone to give the video a thumbs up. Double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to the channel. Okay? So with that being said, this says, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered, Section 1, the purpose. Historically black colleges and universities remain integral to the American student pursuit to prosperity and well-being, providing a pathway and to a career of a better life. This order will continue to work. It will continue the work begun by my first administration to elevate the value and impact of our nation's historically black colleges and universities as beacons of educational excellence and economic opportunity that serve as some of the best cultivators of tomorrow's leaders in business, government, academia, and the military. Section 2 is in regard to the policy on this. And let me see if you guys are in there right now. Shout out to you guys. Oh, I see you guys all in there. Let me go ahead and filter out the chat so I can just see all your messages. But right now, while I'm reading this, is a good chance I won't be able to see everything. So I just want to give you all a heads up about that, all right? All right, Section 3, the White House Initiative on Historically Black Colleges. I'm sorry, Part 2, the policy. It says, it is the policy of my administration to support HBCUs in advancing America's full potential, fostering more and better opportunities in higher education, providing the highest quality education, obtaining equal opportunities for participation in federal programs, ensuring college-educated Americans are empowered to advance the common good at home and abroad, and making our nation more globally competitive. If y'all haven't picked up on what I've been saying thus far and what Trump is saying here, unless I'm going to find something later on, notice how President Trump is saying, referring to these men and women that go to these historically black colleges. Notice what he's referring to them as. Did y'all catch up on that? Highest quality education, obtaining equal opportunity, federal programs, ensuring college-educated Americans are empowered to advance the common good at home abroad, and making our nation more globally competitive. Okay? Americans. Anyway, the White House Initiative on HBCUs says there is hereby established the White House Initiative on Historically Black Colleges and Universities, housed in the Executive Office of the President and led by Executive Director designated by President. The initiative shall work with the Executive Department and agencies, the President's Board of Advisors on HBCUs established in Section 4 of this order, private sector employers, educational associations, philanthropic organizations, the other partners to increase the capacity of HBCUs to provide the highest quality of education to an increasing number of students. The initiative shall have two primary missions: increasing the private sector role, including the role of private foundations, and strengthening HBCUs through enhanced institutional planning and development, fiscal stability, and financial management. B, upgrading institutional infrastructure, including the use of technology to ensure the long-term viability of these institutions, and providing professional development opportunities for HBCU students to help build America's workforce in technology, healthcare, manufacturing, finance, and other high-growth industries, and enhancing HBCU's capabilities to serve our nation's young adults by supporting implementation of the HBCU partners, including facilitating the federal agency plan process required by Section 4, working to advance my administration's key priorities related to promoting innovation and excellence through HBCUs and consultation and HBCUs leaders, representatives, and students alumni, fostering private sector initiatives and public-private philanthropic partnerships to promote centers of academic research and program excellence at HBCUs, improving the availability and quality of information concerning HBCUs in the public policy sphere, sharing administrative and program best practices with HBCU community, addressing efforts to promote student success and retention at HBCU, which y'all, a lot of y'all don't even understand. When you go to college, a lot of stuff, especially with the medical route, you know that a lot of stuff was pressed on us so fast that we literally just retained it long enough to pass our tests. But the real learning, the real education came when we went on whether we went on our clinicals or our residencies, right? So this is partnering with private entities and elementary and secondary education stakeholders to build a pipeline for students that may be interested in attending HBCUs and promote affordable degree attainment, encouraging states to provide the required state matching funds for 1890 land grant institutions, collaborating with the Department of Agriculture and state governments to establish a framework for addressing barriers to accessing federal funding to ensure that HBCUs receive the maximum funding to which they may be entitled, collaborating with agencies to improve the competitiveness of HBCUs for other sources of federal research and development funding, convening an annual White House summit on HBCUs to address matters related to initiatives, missions, and functions. The heads of agencies shall assist and provide information to the initiative consistent with the applicable law as may be necessary to carry out functions of initiative. Each agency shall bear its own expense of participating in the initiative. Section 4, the President's Board of Advisors. There is established in the Department of Education the President's Board of Advisors on historically Black colleges and universities. The board shall fulfill the mission and functions established by, shall have a structure set forth in, and shall in all respect be subject to the provisions of Section 5 of the HBCU's partner program. The board shall include representatives of a variety of sectors such as philanthropy, education, business, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, and private foundations, and current HBCU's presidents. The board shall advise the president through the initiative on the matter set forth in Section 5. The DOE shall provide funding and administrative support for the board consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. General provisions for the purpose of this order, historically Black colleges and universities shall mean in those institutions listed in 34 CFR, which that's not nothing. Nothing in this order shall be construed or impair or otherwise affect the authority. Give me a second, guys. This order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. This order is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit substantive to, procedural, enforceable, or law equitable by the part against the United States. That's some lawyer type stuff right there. Its departments, agencies, entities, and its officers, employees, agents, or any other person. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a lot of people don't understand is that the fact there's something in here that even though I read that off and I told my young folks to go to these HBCUs as well, the reason why I definitely wanted to read this off is the big, huge part that's going to take part in what he said about that. Don't get me wrong, a lot of stuff that he's doing in here is going to be hugely beneficial to HBCUs anyway. But one of the things that I wanted to point out in here particularly is when he said that the initiative work of the executive departments and agencies, the president's board advisors, it says they're going to increase the private sector role, including the role of private foundations, in strengthening HBCUs through enhanced institutional planning and development, right? This says that jumped out at me. I'm just telling y'all what jumped up at me big time was when he said upgrading institutional infrastructure, including the building, including technology, to ensure long-term viability of these institutions. So when it all comes down to it, at least this is something that he's focusing on. And here's the deal. Some people might get the wrong impression and try to say something like, well, this is crazy because there's no such thing as a white college. Yeah. What he just made this towards these HBCUs, last time I checked, those are white colleges. I'm just saying. So anyway, the point that he's going to improve the infrastructure physically and make sure they have the latest and the best technology so they can say so it can pretty much have viability. That's a huge thing, guys. But at the same time, for anybody that want to come and say he's only doing that because he's trying to get like a special one up with the HBCUs, no, Trump funded HBCUs, federal funded them for like, he started the whole thing, right? To where they were federally funded forever. Now, what I want to let y'all know is people are saying, well, why isn't he giving money to other colleges? I don't know if y'all know this. He's taking money from them. Have y'all not heard? Have you not seen? What is going on with Columbia? Huh? What's going on like places like Yale? And I think the other one is Harvard as well. Trump them are holding back upwards of more than $2 billion just at Harvard in federal funding. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether y'all believe me on this or not. All sorts of educational institutions have been completely invaded by other countries' ideology. And it's not even really a lot of these countries' ideology. It's more of a sense of these countries' poison. The other day, I wrote something down on paper, right? And I asked my mentees to read it to me, right? My son was able to read what I wrote. People were super impressed. The mentees were really impressed that not only was I able to write, but that my son was able to interpret it. And it wasn't even an interpretation. Do y'all know what it is that I did? Can y'all take a wild guess? When I told you I wrote something down, and my son was able to read it, but my mentees couldn't read it, do y'all know what I wrote? I'm not asking y'all, do y'all know what sentence I wrote? Better yet, how did I write? Is what I'm asking. And while you guys are hitting that thumbs up button, I'll let that be like a little filibuster while you guys click the thumbs up button, and I'll tell y'all what it is. Donna Wilson said handwriting, yeah. Yep. Dev got it, says in cursive. Yes. I wrote in cursive, right? They were like, whoa, what is that? Whoa, how? And then they were trying to figure out how was others, like my son, is able to read that. And I told you, you know what? It just dawned on me a little bit. I said, because actually, guys, I mean, y'all might disagree with this, but I told my mentees this. I said, do you know that that's the original handwriting of Americans? I just told them that. They're like, what? I said, yeah. I said, that's the original handwriting of America. And so what got me is that I didn't really think about it until I actually said it to them, that why is that a lot of things that's in regards to our patriotism, our American way, our beliefs, our statutes, our Constitution, why are those things being on a slick little way done away with? And I told them the Constitution is written that same exact way. I told them I can look at the Constitution and read it based off how our forefathers wrote it. So I felt like, wow, they're doing away with the cursive. Why are they trying to do away with America and America's way? Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with manuscript, I guess, like that. But my point is, the way of America, as you guys are seeing it, has been infiltrated by a lot of outside countries and their way. China has I don't know if y'all know this, China had a huge deal in funding money to our education based off that we teach things that China feel that we Americans should be learning. That's crazy. So my thing is this. The way that Trump wrote this, and don't believe me, guys, y'all can go over to the White House. You can go over to the White House website right now. Go to the White House website right now and type in White House Initiative to promote Black excellence and innovation at historically Black colleges and universities. Just go type that in. And what I like about the wording in here is that Trump threw around the term Americans. He threw around the word Americans. We are donating this money, increasing the infrastructure, giving them better technology, giving them this so that any American that wants to go to this college will have the best this. We're giving them this money. We want this initiative to be put in place for the excellence of Americans when graduating will be set up, pipelining them to networking with other Americans to better America. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Somehow, some way, we have to stop talking in color and just start saying Americans. And better yet, if you are going to talk in color, make sure you tag the word American onto it. All my videos, when I start them off, what do I say? How are you doing, my fellow American brothers and sisters? I always say it like that. What's going on? Appreciate you watching the channel, my fellow American brothers and sisters. That's the way I see you now. Whether you are Black, white, Asian, Latino, Mexican, Spanish, Russian, if you were born in America and you watch my channel and you watch what I do, when I say, what's going on, my American brothers and sisters, I'm talking to you. Because under the American brother and sister, nobody cares what the color is. There are people who are born in interracial families. They have their mom, their dad. They have their brothers and their sisters. And these children are interracial. While growing up, they didn't care about none of this color stuff. All they know is brother and sister. And when you entail brother and sister, mom and dad, you know what that means? If you have a brother and sister, mom and dad, and you refer to them, that's my brother, that's my sister. You know what that signifies even more? That a lot of people don't think about? Relationship. So once you have established relationships with your other fellow American brothers and sisters, literally, you don't even, the last thing that's on your mind is what color their skin is. What forms relationships has nothing to do with this surface bull crap. What forms relationships is how we relate to one another. Sharing food, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas, cracking jokes with each other. Having potlucks. Getting to know each other's family, getting to know each other's sons and grandsons and granddaughters and all that. That relationship is how we formulate what makes us American brothers and sisters, period. And it would be so awesome if that can be a deal where we can just refer to each other like that all day long. Well, it's easy for you to say that, but if it's American brother and sister, how come Black people see that? That's where you go wrong at. That's where you're going wrong at. Quit seeing your man. I'm sorry, quit seeing yourself as a Black man or a Black woman. Quit seeing yourself as a white man or a white woman. Start seeing yourself as a man, as a woman. That's it. It's so funny because your children can look at this as being such a stupid thing when they get older. Like I tell you guys, and I brag about it, my two sons. My two sons said they never even, it's like, Dad, this is crazy. I never even noticed nobody's skin color until all this Black Lives Matter stuff came out. My sons them never even gave thought to it. And before y'all try to get on this bandwagon, in case any of your trolls are in here, or you Negroes or white liberals of a certain mindset, before y'all try to jump on this bandwagon, say, I bet your sons went to private school with all white people. My sons went to schools with black, white, you name the race. My sons went to the school with these individuals. My point is, while they were growing up in our home, in my house, I never referred to anybody as being black or white. Our church is a very mixed church as well. Black men with white women, white men with black women, Latino man with a black woman, a Latino man with a white woman. Our church is very mixed, okay? So the reason why I'm saying that is in our church, there was no black and white. Nobody discussed skin color. We just know that's Jonathan, that's Elena, that's Amy, that's Carla, that's John, that's Bill, that's Steve, that's Brother Mac, that's Brother Troy, that's Brother Dennis, that's Brother Singleton. That's how we identified each other all day long. So if you was to ask a kid who said it, they'll say Brother Singleton. What does he look like? You know, he's the one guy that sits over there. They never went to skin color. And so when I used to teach this to my youth group, as they got older, they were all like, oh, wow, that is wild, Mr. Ty. Like, that's crazy, right? We never talked like that in church. That never was a focus. We never looked at that brother such and such, married such and such, and they are two different color people. All they know is that brother such and such, married sister such and such, and they have kids. They never was able to look at it and process in their mind. She's a white lady. He's a black man. She's a black woman, and he's a white man. Oh, he's a Mexican man, and that's a white woman. Oh, he's a Mexican man, and that's a black woman. They never even had the thought in their head to even think that. And it's not until you get into these darn woke schools and things like that, and they want to try to poison these kids' minds with this nonsense. So again, I get the understanding, ladies and gentlemen, whenever there is something like this that Trump has done for these historically black colleges, right? I get it. But what I love about it is the fact that when you go through this, and again, if you want to find out, you can go to the White House's webpage and type in White House Initiative to promote excellence and innovation in historically black colleges. Go in there and read the writing, where you won't be able to see things in there where Trump's saying African Americans or black Americans and black women and black men or anything like that. He's calling them all Americans. And that's what we all should be doing. If you learn and you teach yourself to do exactly what I just got done saying in regards to how you address certain people in your community, whether they are black or white, just don't describe their skin color at all. It's easy. So what I was going to say is that I would never forget, I told my sons, when they were younger, they said, Dad, you used to always ask us, whenever we went to go play, you used to always ask us, where are you going? And we say, oh, I'm getting ready to go play with my friend Alex. And then I'll say, Alex, who is Alex? They'd be like, our friend down the street. I go, what does he look like? They'll go, he got like dark hair. It's like short on the side, and like his eyes are black, and like he be wearing Toy Story clothes all the time. They go to describing clothes and what his hair looked like and his eyes, or if he has a, you know, they don't never say, oh, they never once was like, oh, my white friend down the road. Why would they say that if they don't even know that type of wording or that type of language even exists? Think about it before you went to school. And I know this is not everybody. Guys, before I got in school, I grew up around white and black people. But before I got in school, it just wasn't even a thing in my mind that these people had a different skin color than mine. It just never was one of those things that crossed my mind. It wasn't until you get in school and they want to show you Amistad and roots and all this stuff like that, and they start saying, oh, the white people did this and the such and such did this. The only way someone's going to know about skin color and to focus on skin color is if you're taught it. That's the only way. The only way you're going to know about skin color is if it's taught to you. Dogs can't be racist. Babies can't be racist. Babies don't see skin color. They don't. I got plenty of videos on my channel right now. And I got one in particular where I was holding this, guys, I'm going to show y'all this maybe again later on. I was holding this little white baby at one of my speaking events. This little white baby just clinged to me. I played with her, was lifting her up and down, playing with her brothers and sisters. And when I tried to give her back to her parents, the little white baby kept on trying to come back to me. She kept coming back to me. So guess what? I'm only emphasizing the word white just so I can drive a point home in case y'all didn't know this. So while I'm holding this little white baby at my speaking event, other little white kids and black kids were around. And they were all just cracking up and laughing while I was playing with this baby with them, right? One in particular little girl, and I got her parents' permission. It's on my channel, guys. If you don't believe me, if you go on my channel right now, you can type in "kids don't see color." If you go on my channel, you're going to see me holding this white baby. This little white girl looked at me. She said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Can I hold your baby?" So I was like, I got to get this on camera. I got to get this on camera. So I said, I asked the parent, "Can I get permission to record?" They said, "Yeah." And I said, "Excuse me." I said, "What did you say?" She looked at me. She said, I want to know if I can hold your baby." I said, "My baby?" "Yeah." I said, "You want to hold my baby?" "Yeah." I had a little white baby in my hand playing with this baby. A little white girl asked me if she can hold my baby. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what I'm talking about. The parents did not teach this girl, "Do you see what that man looks like? What makes you think that's that man's baby? Don't you know that is a black man and that is a white baby?" No. All that little girl saw, since she look, and it's not even my baby, but the fact that her brain saw me holding this baby majority of the day, she saw me playing with this baby with other little kids. She saw that when I gave the baby to somebody else, the baby tried to come back to me. The baby cried to get back to me because the baby looked at me as being fun. Her brain made her interpret that I must be that baby's father. So she asked me if she can have permission to hold my baby. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute beautiful thing right there. And the only way we won't have this type of thing going on is if you, the parent, did not teach it. And also if our school systems did not implement these programs in there where they made that the focus, which is why I'm a huge person that don't feel that the principles of critical race theory should be taught in any elementary or high school. I now look, before some of y'all get all crazy, because yeah, I am the father that blew CRT out of the water. I know that the title critical race theory and all that is taught in college, but the principles of critical race theory is being taught in elementary schools. And that's, if it wasn't, Trump then wouldn't be pushing an initiative to get it out of these elementary schools, the principles of critical race theory. And also, my other thing that a lot of people get pissed off about is I don't feel that anyone should be learning about Black history or slavery or any of that until they get into college. I know. Yeah, you heard me. I know. Why do they make that an important thing for children? Why is it important to teach children about a Southern eye view of slavery? Why is that so important to them? The minute the kids get into the school, they want the kids, to instantly start knowing and learning about slavery, and then they teach it through a Southern eye lens where they only show Black people victims, white people the oppressor, white people being the ones that's beating and killing and sexual assaulting and selling and all that. Black people just old victims, just these poor, nice people, old victims. They don't see what I'm saying? Why do they have emphasis on showing only that portion and showing it that particular way? Why do they want to show that? That's why with our young mentees, whenever they want to talk about slavery in school and things like that, we opting them out. We don't want them to learn about slavery at all. Because if you're going to teach it the right way, teach it the right way. Teach them how they weren't kidnapped, that they were sold by other Blacks. Teach them that Black people in America owned slaves as well. Teach them that Black people fought for the South to maintain their slaves. Teach them all that. So anyway, folks, that's my biggest thing right there, is that, you think about it yourself. You really didn't focus on the color of somebody's skin unless your parents them told you. But before you started school, you didn't focus on skin color. You didn't care about skin color. All you cared about was being a kid, eat, sleep, playing, I'm the strongest, I'm the biggest, I'm the fastest. You a girl, you a boy. What's under your dress? That's all you cared about. You didn't really look at, oh my God, look at that, a white girl, a white, you as a kid, you couldn't even perceive that. Somebody had to teach you that the color of her skin was a black man or a black woman. Somebody had to teach you that the color of that person's skin meant that that's a white boy or a white girl. Someone taught us that. But if it was never taught, this wouldn't even really be a conversation right now. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you guys all being here. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on your way out of here. Shout out to President Trump and the Trump administration for this initiative that they're doing with the historically black colleges to promote even more excellence and innovation and philanthropy and networking and improving their infrastructure and giving them the best technology to keep these things going. And again, that college that he's talking about is historically black colleges. But when he talked about students who want to go to historically black colleges, he didn't refer to them as black men, black women, African-American men, African-American women. He referred to ones who want to go to these historically black colleges as Americans who may seek to go to these colleges where they can get X, Y, and Z. It's that easy. So with that being said, folks, double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to the channel. Click that thumbs up button on your way out. I am Ty Smith, model Renaissance man, and I hope and pray that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.